Do you have an itch that you can't scratch, that you desperately want to get rid of? Welcome to another Yogi Tea reading. I believe this is number 8, but don't take my word for it. Hi, I'm here in my car because the people in my house are trying to sleep. It's a rainy, cozy day, so of course that's what people want to do, except me, I'm here, I have an urge, I need to share a message, so you're going to be here with me too, whether you like it or not. Actually, just be here if you really want to, only if you feel like you would enjoy it, no pressure. I tried to make this aesthetically pleasing. I put a velvet jacket over my car seat, and I put my little turtle, which is orange and has a teal shell. He is stuffed and soft and he jingles. He has a hook on him because he actually belongs to my cats. He is attachable to their cat toy, which is like a fishing hook. And I'm wearing a brown shirt that says life is good with the, I don't know guitars, but it has a piece of a guitar graphic on it. And I'm sitting here, and behind me you can see green trees in the window. Also, you can't see my head, which is kind of funny and weird. And you can see that I'm wearing gray sweatpants. I'm sitting cross-legged inside my car. Okay, that is the visual for those who cannot see or are just listening, prefer to just listen. Hi, welcome. Let's start before my phone dies because we know my phone is perpetually at 20%. Holler if you relate. I have my heart-shaped box of Yogi tea labels in here, and I'm ready to pick one out. Oop, picked up 2 by accident. Okay, I'm gonna put one back. There we are, friends and foes and family. I almost said something else which rhymes but is not a nice word. Okay, let's see what it says. Personal growth lies within the unknown. Courage permits you to explore this space. Excellent, excellent. So here I am, sitting in my car filming a video because I absolutely am compelled to. It is a little scary to do this sometimes because, people judge. But honestly, I care less about that, and I care more about the regret I will feel if I don't post this. Maybe that is a good lesson for you if you're listening. Whatever you really, really want to do, that desire that lives in your heart, I'm guessing it scares you a little bit. I'm guessing you haven't been doing that thing. You've been putting it off because you're a little bit afraid. What are you afraid of? People's judgments? Oh, she's weird. He's weird. They're weird. Um, this is strange. No one else has done this before. Why me? Honestly, I can't think of a reason. I'm just a little scared because my body is used to living the same routine, and any change to that feels unnerving. Well, welcome. Here I am on a mission to do something brave pretty much every day. Do you know that the greatest things that have happened to me so far have come out of acts of bravery? I am looking up at my neighbor's house across the street. I see a cute pudgy bird on top of their chimney looking out over the world. It's just hanging out there, licking its wings. At some point in its life, it was a little baby bird having just been birthed. Or, they don't, birds don't give birth, they hatch out of eggs, excuse me. He just unleashed himself, cracked his own shell, escaped into the world. Probably felt a little scary. At some point, he or she, or yes, this bird had to fly the nest, literally, not a metaphor. How did it get from being a raw, pink, featherless creature to this beautiful, majestic, pudgy, gorgeous bird that now calmly sits atop chimneys? Well, it had to do something a little scary. And it's only scary because it didn't have any information about what flying would feel like yet. It had maybe seen its parents or siblings fly, but it had never done it itself on its own. It had to guess. It could learn that its wings would probably work based on examples from people around it, other birds. But ultimately, no one could take that leap for it, okay? This might seem like a trite example of doing something brave, but I think nature gives us very strong clues as to how to exist and to thrive rather than just survive our lives. It just rhymed 3 times. So this confident, calm bird just hanging out nonchalantly on top of a chimney very high up, it had to take some courageous steps into the unknown. Courage permits you to explore the unknown. Other people have said this before, but I believe the origin of the word courage comes from the word heart. And I think core, something similar, I think it's French, something like that. Basically, courage comes from the heart. You could think of the Cowardly Lion from Wizard of Oz. If you're having trouble creating courage on your own, take courage from the characters that you love, like I just said, the Cowardly Lion. Growing up, I often imagined I was a character in one of my favorite books or movies. So, for instance, if you grew up loving Harry Potter before, well, we don't need to talk about the author, okay? But rewind to the 2000s when Harry Potter was a beacon for a representation for love and courage, and many of us found resilience and hope through those stories. Pretend you're like Harry and you have to battle evil, or imagine being brave on behalf of someone else. This is something that I do a lot. I find that I'm able to be brave if I know that I am doing it in service of someone else. So if you can't be brave for yourself, be brave for someone else. For instance, if you have social anxiety, let's say you hate making phone calls, but you have a friend who is also afraid of making phone calls, and you're about to order dinner. They're petrified, totally anxious. They don't want to make the call. They ask you to do it. Suddenly, you are the king of phone calls. You have never been more charismatic or capable of making a phone call in your entire life. And you make that phone call. Your heart might be racing, but you are suddenly more capable of doing this thing than you ever have been before. And why? That's because you are doing it for someone else, perhaps out of the love you feel for them. Courage and love go hand in hand. Think about all the people who went off to war thinking of the loved ones they wanted to protect. Well, if you are wanting to start a YouTube channel but you're scared of judgment, maybe imagine the person watching your video whose life you might change. Maybe you are sharing a very personal experience that you know might help someone else, you're afraid of the judgment of people in your life. But if you picture that person, maybe a child, watching your video, suddenly feeling less alone, suddenly they feel free because they don't have to be ashamed of this thing that they thought was solely their own burden. You have the capacity to change someone's life. Suddenly, you can feel that courage within your heart, and you can dive into the unknown, and you can post that video. So, if you want to grow, but perhaps you've been procrastinating because you're afraid, instead of doing it for yourself, do it for someone else. That courage will come from your love for that other person whose life you might change. Another example, instead of an actual person across the world watching your video, think of being brave for your past self, a version of you who might have needed this act of bravery. Maybe you really want to talk to this person that you have a crush on, and little you always dreamed of being in love and having that Disney fairy tale romance. You've seen other people in your life fall in love, ask people out, but you still haven't felt like you were capable of doing it because you're afraid of rejection. Well, maybe you can feel that love for your tiny past self who believed in the Disney dream, and you can be brave for them. Also, I cry a lot. Just, I mean, like when I'm thinking about having to do something scary, okay? I mean, in general, I cry. I just have big feelings, but I want you to know that whatever emotion you might feel is normal when you're trying to be brave or do something courageous. Maybe courage is less about being afraid of the outcome and more about being afraid of your feelings. Maybe you're actually afraid of what you will feel on the other side of this act of bravery. So you're afraid to feel the rejection because it feels painful, it just feels bad. But maybe that feeling is something you need in order to grow. So where do we go from here? Seek courage and support through multiple avenues. You got to shore up this courage when you're doing courageous things. Wait. You got to shore up your courage when you're doing things that scare you. I don't know what my hand is doing. Okay, just go with it. So for example, I have my little turtle here because before I filmed this video, I was like, I feel like I need a little support, some emotional support. And I've always loved animals. I've always anthropomorphized my stuffed animals. I've always felt empathy for inanimate objects, okay? Anyway, having this little turtle with me in this video helped me feel more courageous, softer, more loved and loving as I started filming this video. So whatever you need to do to increase your courage, do it. Surround yourself with the things you love. Visualize the positive outcomes that will come from this scary thing. Remind yourself that the pain inside of you is what you're afraid of feeling. The unknown is scary because you may not have anything to compare it to. This new data has never been introduced to your system. You may not know what you are going to feel. But remember, like I said in the beginning of this video, the urge to do the scary thing was greater than the fear surrounding doing the scary thing. You want to get to the point where you fear the regret more than the fear of taking action. I keep looking at this turtle. I always go to nature, I think naturally, when I am afraid, when I want to take the next step, when I am looking for guidance. That is one more thing you could do to shore up your courage, is look to nature to guide you. Nature follows specific rules and patterns. Nature can be brutal, but it can also be quite beautiful. If you look at the way that animals operate, it's very much by instinct. Of course, there's research and information about animals that they have a higher consciousness than we've been led to believe, etc. But you can look to them as inspiration, especially if you don't see an example of the person you want to be in your daily life, because maybe you're doing something that no one you know has ever done before. You can seek proof through other people on YouTube. But again, I find nature to be very calming and reassuring. Only you know what has to be done, and only you know the urge, the level of excitement, the level of need that lives within you. My guess is that you are at that point where you can no longer ignore that urge to do the scary thing, and you are ready to fly. You are absolutely ready. Take heart. You have all of the resources, all of the courage that you will need is there for you. You just have to ask for it, ask for that support, look for it. And maybe this video itself can be your inspiration and courage. There is not a life worth living without a little courage. I will say this one more time. The best stories about people, the ones that we love the most, are the ones in which the characters follow their desires, follow their hunches, their urges, do the scary things, and find the truth that lives on the other side of the unknown. Do you want to be like that hero in the stories that you loved? Seriously. maybe you fell in love with those characters because you saw a bit of yourself in them, or you saw your future in them. What is the difference between you and that character? They were afraid. They stepped into the unknown. Be someone that you are amazed by. Okay? Listen to yourself, those itches. I'm literally itchy because I got attacked by bugs when I was pulling weeds the other day. So, feel free to take some precautions when you're going into the unknown. For instance, wear bug spray if you're going to pull weeds. Probably a smart idea. But sometimes we have to learn lessons the hard way, through some level of pain and discomfort. But when all these bug bites heal, I'm going to go back out there with my bug spray and my pants, and I'm going to continue going because I still want to make that space in my yard as beautiful as possible. And that's what you're going to do because you're on a mission to make your life as beautiful as possible. Okay. My foot is asleep, so that's a sign that I need to end this video. Hasta la vista.